Welcome to Third World Cesspool Shithole USA. That man underneath the overpass there has been there for about a week. He lost his previous location, which was behind the local Texas Roadhouse in some woods. They went in, there was a village, and they went in and mowed down a bunch of the trees to get rid of the encampment that was back there, filled with illegal invading scumbags and local homeless. Don't know where they all went, but one can guess. Good morning, everybody. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping. I just made a trip to Wall China Mart. I wanted to see if there were preparations being made for November 1st. There was not visible preparations being made at this one. Parking lot was kind of full. It's raining really hard today. Doesn't stop those free beers, though. So I went in, walked around. As I was cashing out, I was listening to two employees, and they were discussing some Walmarts in bigger cities that were making preparations or had already closed in anticipation of the coming theft teams. Now, Wall China Mart is in a precarious position right now. If they close, particularly in blue cities, which are predominantly dominated by blacks, and they close to prevent the rioting and looting that these blacks have promised is going to take place, they will be called racist, and the fake news will just love it. So while China Mart can't really do anything right now, they have actually got to wait until their stores begin to be looted, stolen, rioted. And by then it's too late, because in blue cities, when they call the po-po, they probably won't show. If they do, they won't do anything. Maybe they will usher the people out. Maybe they won't. We don't know. But past precedence says they won't. Now, the situation that we're getting ready to experience, according to most reports, everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, and I guess I'm no different, is that the USDA, which issues the SNAP EBT welfare shit, probably has enough funds to distribute to the approximately 42 million Americans that are taking advantage of the situation. The SNAP, the welfare, the EBT crap. But the USDA will, because of the lockdown, they're not going to be allowed to issue these funds, which they likely have. Okay, so let's remind ourselves that whatever rioting and looting and stealing, whatever actions we see were intentionally created, mostly by Democrats. Over the years, they have allowed rioters and looters, predominantly black, let's not sugarcoat that, and in the cesspool shithole cities, they've been allowed to riot and loot up to like $1,100 in some areas with no fear of prosecution. At the same time, generations of people have been convinced, indoctrinated, simply agree that they are entitled to everything they get because we owe them. They don't care that it's taxpayers footing the bill. They're owed. They have the entitlement mindset intentionally created to form a plantation of millions of people to use and abuse the system, which was created as a very temporary stopgap for people who had a bad luck run, some misfortune. It was likely designed to last no more than a year. And of course, we know now it lasts a lifetime. And then your children get on it because they've been raised thinking it's all free shit and they deserve it because that's what their parents and politicians tell them. So you see where we're at and how we got here. Is it going to happen? Yeah, I think it is, because both wings of this political bird want it to happen. Kinda, sorta, maybe for different reasons, but they can both use it to their advantage. Dare I say, some leverage. I dare. So the Democrats want a civil war. They want anything and everything to happen that can, so they can blame Orange Man for it all, and the Republicans. They will promote, they're probably paying for the theft teams that are bragging on social media that they're going to wait for people to come out of stores and then simply take their shit away from them, whether they want it to happen or not. Whereas the Trump regime likely wants some civil discourse, not extreme, but nonetheless needs some. Which is why the teams, so to speak, are already being positioned in the cesspool shithole cities under the guise of violence, which does happen, will happen, but they need the teams there ready come midterm time. And this is a great way for them to be in position already there. Safety and security. And eventually, if this gets bad enough within a week or two, the residents will be begging for their government to do something. Come in and save them. If you have to go shopping, as a matter of fact, I would recommend highly going shopping today or tomorrow. Get everything you think you're going to need for at least a couple weeks. I understand many of us don't live anywhere near a big cesspool shithole blue city. But remember, the West Coast and the East Coast are the ports where ships carrying supplies of every kind, including food, dock, unload, and then distribute it throughout the United States. So if the idiot EBTers and the paid theft teams decide to storm the docks, the ships will not dock and port because they don't want to be overrun. The dock workers will likely leave. The tractor trailers that arrive at these docks and pick up the shipping containers will not show up. If they do have food and supplies, they will not drive into the cesspool shithole cities and risk being attacked and robbed. Plus, if these stores like China Mart are closed, they have nowhere to drop off their supplies. So it is a domino effect, a snowball, a mountain made out of a molehill. That is what is created from our 72-hour, aka 3-day, aka 9-meal supply chain. So get out there and get what you can. But if you don't get there today or tomorrow and you've got to go out after the 1st, do not go alone or unarmed. Don't park as far away from the store as you can to protect your pretty little car. Don't hit your car door system 50 yards from your vehicle where someone can be waiting inside or lurking behind it, knowing you're coming out with groceries. Don't broadcast on all your social media that you're going to China Mart or Sam's Club or Costco or Wegmans or whatever your area's store is. And don't go unarmed. It could be very, very ugly. Whether an insurrection act will be declared, martial law, the left wants someone positioned in their cesspool shithole cities to react in a manner that gives them fuel for their fire. Very likely someone in a position of authority could just be taking action in self-defense or to protect an innocent victim. But the fake news and the demtards will declare it a slaughter, a massacre, horrific, shot innocent people starving and hungry just trying to feed their kids. You know how it's going to go. Matter of fact, the Democrats will probably have paid thugs to perform a false flag of their own for that very scenario. What I'm saying is your situational awareness as of today and from here on out has to be 100% top-notch, head on a swivel like I'm doing right now. Know where you are. Know everyone around you as best you can. If you get ready to go into a grocery store and you see some people lurking outside make a note of where they are and choose a different exit if you can, because they're lurking out there watching people go in, selecting a victim like an elderly couple, a single woman with a child, people who can't defend themselves, and they're going to wait until they come out and they're going to follow them or harass them, just asking for, oh, just, why don't you just give me one box of those donuts and then you go. Don't put yourself in a position. All right. Good luck out there. I really think we need to prepare. I think this is going to go down. There's always a chance there could be emergency funding put out there today or tomorrow, but that money still takes time. It won't automatically be there for the snappers, the EBTers, and the welfare teat suckers. Prepare for at least 2 weeks, in my opinion. And if it goes off the rails, it'll be much longer. All right, folks, that is all I have for now. JT, signing off.